Sri Sai Ram. We are beginning a new topic today. Topic is new but quite familiar with all of you. The topic is probability. And you have been studying probability right from 8th or 9th standard onwards. You studied in 8th, you studied in 9th, you studied in 10th, 11th, and once again you are going to study this year too. Whatever be the kind of problem, whatever type of probability it is, but we manage the study of whole of probability with the help of 4 to 5 examples, 4 to 5 experiments, tossing a coin, rolling a die, taking a card from pack of cards, maybe picking up a ball from 2 or 3 colors balls. In every class we have problems based upon them. You don't find varieties of problems. But in the same time, as we keep progressing, we will be studying more and more about this particular topic. And now we are going to study about something called conditional probability. Before we go to the textbook and see how he has explained, let me put it in a very simple manner. What is conditional probability? For example, let us say you have taken 3 coins and tossed them. You are familiar, if there is one coin, if you toss it, the sample space has got heads and tails, H and T. Suppose if you take 2 coins and then toss them, the outcomes can be HH, HT, TH and TT. Suppose if there are 3, then you have HHH, HHT, HTH, THH, HTT, THT and TTT. How many? 8. In the first case it is 2 to the power 1. In second case it is 2 to the power 2. In third case it is 2 to the power 3. 2 to the power number of coins gives you the outcome. Now from this sample space you can define any number of events. For example, you can say one event can be all are heads. You can you can discuss about another event saying that all are tails, or you can say that there are 2 heads, or you can say there are 2 tails. Any number of events can be defined from this sample space. Now imagine 2 events are defined based upon this sample space. One we are calling it E, another we are calling it F. Now what happens? If you are being told that F has already occurred, find the probability of E. Remember, E and F both are events from the same sample space S. You have defined E, you also defined F. He says find the probability of E when F has occurred. Then we are talking about conditional probability. Why? Because now since F has occurred, the sample space for E is no more S, but it is F. With respect to F, we have to find out probability of E, happening of E with respect to F. This is called conditional probability. So same thing he has explained in the textbook. We will quickly have a glance through that. Up till now in probability we have discussed the methods of finding the probability of events. If you have 2 events from the same sample space, does the information about the occurrence of one event affects the probability of the other? If you are given that this has already occurred, find the probability of the other, he is asking does that affect for happening of the second. Let us try to answer this question by taking up a random experiment in which the outcomes are equally likely to occur. Consider the experiment of tossing 3 fair coins. Just now we have discussed, if there are 3 coins and if you have tossed them, these are the outcomes. So many times you have done HHH, HHT, HTH, THH, HTT, THT, TTH and then TTT. So total number of outcomes are 8. Let E be the event. Now he is defining 2 events from the same sample space. Remember, the events are defined from the same sample space. What are the events? E be the event, at least 2 heads appear. At least 2 means 2 and more. It can be 2 heads or it can be more. So what all things we can take from the sample space? HHH, HHT, HTH, THH. Another event, he says F be the event, first coin shows tail. First coin is showing you tail. So with that, pick up the events from S. So you have THH, TTH, THT, TTT. Then can you tell me what will be PE? What will be the probability of E? Probability of E will be favorable elements to E divided by total number of outcomes. Total number of outcomes is nothing but sample space. How many are there in this? 4. So this is 4 by 8 or in other terms 1 by 2. PF is also same. There are 4 here. So 4 by 8 or 1 by 2. What is E intersection F? The elements which are common to both. Compare both of them and write E intersection F. Compare. What all are common? HHT? No. HTH? No. THH? Yes. This is the only element which is common for both. So what is its probability? 1 by 8. Right now we have not talked about E has occurred or F has occurred. We are just calculating. Proceed. Now suppose we are given that the first coin shows tail, that is F occurs, then what is the probability of occurrence of E? Now we are coming to define conditional probability. What he is assuming? F has occurred. What you have to find out? Occurrence of E when F has occurred. Okay. So with the information of occurrence of F, we are sure that the cases in which first coin does not result into tail should not be considered. So now the sample space which had 8 outcomes get reduced to F. Okay. In other words, the additional information really amounts to telling us that the situation may be considered as being that of new random experiment for which the sample space consists of all those outcomes only which are favorable to the occurrence of F. So F becomes the sample space for this conditional probability of E to happen. Once again find out what is the common, that is the only one element which was common. So what is the probability of E considering F has happened is 1 by 4, okay, or the probability of E given that event F has occurred is 1 by 4. So whatever we have discussed, it is the same. Proceed. This probability of event E is called conditional probability of E given that F has already occurred and is denoted by PE by F. Please make note, it is PE by F. What is PE by F? It is 1 by 4. What is this 1? 1 is the only element which is common for both. In other words, it is more like E intersection F. And what is this 4? There are 4 elements in F. Okay. So note that the element F which is favorable to event E are common elements of E and F, that is the sample point E intersection F. Thus we can also write the conditional probability of E given that F has occurred as, how are we writing it in words? Number of elementary elements favorable to E intersection F. How many are favorable to both? Only 1. divided by number of elements favorable to F. How many? 4. In other words, it is NE intersection F by NF. So now if you divide numerator and denominator with NS, because how do we define a probability? Number of favorable elements by total number of elements. What are the number of elements? NE intersection F divided by NS. Similarly, NF by NS. So if NS gets cancelled, or this itself is written as P intersection F by PF. Yes, now come to the last point. He says 1 is valid only where PF is not equal to 0. Why? Because if this becomes 0, it is not defined. Definition. This is the definition. What is the definition? If E and F are two events associated with the same sample space of random experiment, the conditional probability of the event E, given that F has occurred, is denoted by PE by F, which is equal to PE intersection F divided by PF. Probability of the elements which are common divided by probability of F. Properties of conditional probability. What are the properties? First property, PS by F. What is S? S is nothing but sample space. Sample space means all those 8 elements which are there. So instead of E by F, if you put S by F is equal to 1. Why? Why it is so? Because the intersection of S and F, S is like universal set, F is a small subset of it. So what is the intersection? Is a small set F. So PF by PF equal to 1. Suppose if you take PF by F, in that case what will happen? It is intersection of F and F is nothing but F only. That is also equal to 1. Second property. What is the second property says? From the sample space, if there are two events A and B, then probability of A union B when F has already occurred. Probability of A union B when F has already occurred is given by PA by F plus PB by F minus PA intersection B by F. In a very simple terms, if you can go back to set theory, you have studied that if A and B are two sets, then you have studied that N of A union B is equal to NA plus NB minus N of A intersection B. Same thing here, N of A by F, because by F is there. So N of A by F, B by F, A intersection B by F. This is the second property. Okay. Move to the third property. What it says? Complement. What is complement of a set? What is A dash? A dash is nothing but U minus A. What is U here? Is nothing but 1. Total probability is always 1. So 1 minus probability of an event will give you probability of its complement. So P E dash by F equal to 1 minus P E by F. Very simple explanation, you can have a look. From here we move on to the problems, and you will find problems of this exercise being very simple. No big formulae we have learnt except one formula. What is the formula we have learned? Probability of event E when F has already occurred, PE by F is equal to PE intersection F by PF. That is the only formula. All the problems of the exercise are based upon this. Let us write down what did we learn. Okay, for example, in this particular problem, whatever he has given is given. He has given PE, he has given PF, he has also given PE intersection F. What are their values? 0.6, 0.3 and then 0.2. What is that he is asking? E by F and F by E. So first write the formula. What is E by F? What do you understand by it? We are trying to find the conditional probability of E when F has already occurred. P E by F basically means probability of E when F has already occurred. What is it? It is P intersection F divided by PF. What is P intersection F? He has given 0.2. What is the probability of F? He has given 0.3. So the answer is 2 by 3. Then he has asked find F by E. So how will you find P F by E? Probability of F intersection E divided by P. What is it? Again it is 0.2, but now PE is 0.6. So it is 1 by 3. 2 by 6 is nothing but 1 by 3. Let us move to the next problem. You will find problems very simple, no much complication. Here he has given PA, PB, PB by A and he is asking us to find these things. So write down whatever he has given. PA 0.8, PB 0.5, PB by A 0.4. Then he is asking us to find out three things. How do you find first one? Go back to the formula for B by A. What is the formula? We have studied that PB by A is equal to PB intersection A divided by PA. Now substitute whatever you know. This is 0.4 equal to PB intersection A. Whether you write B intersection A or A intersection B, both are same. By PA. What is PA? 0.8. As a result, we can conclude that the first one, PA intersection B, is equal to 0.8 into 0.4, 0.32. This is the first answer. Then he says find PA by B. How will you find PA by B? PA by B. How do you find? Go back to the formula. What is the formula? PA intersection B divided by PB. How much is PA intersection B? Just now we have found 0.32 divided by PB, he has given 0.5. Remove the decimals. It is 16 by 25. This is the second answer. Come to the third one. He says find PA union B. What he says? Find PA union B. So how do you find PA union B? It is PA plus PB minus PA intersection B. Substitute the values. PA 0.8, PB 0.5, PA intersection B, we have found it is 0.32. Add them, 8 plus 5, 13, 1.30 minus 0.32 equal to 0.98. This is the answer, this is the answer, and this is the answer. In this manner, we can solve the problems of conditional probability by using just one formula in all problems. We will move to the next problem. He has given PA, he has given PB, he has also given A union B. He says these things. So write down first what he has given. PA 6 by 11, PB 5 by 11, P A union B. Seven by 11. First thing he is asking is find out PA intersection B. So go back to the second property. What was the property was what we have used in the previous problem. P of A union B equal to PA plus PB minus PA intersection B. It is exactly like the formula which you have studied in set theory. N of A union B equal to NA plus NB minus NA intersection B. Now substitute whatever you know, whatever is unknown you will know. So A union B 7 by 11 equal to PA 6 by 11 plus PB 5 by 11 minus P of A intersection B. Our objective is to find this value. So bring that this side and take this to that side. So hence PA intersection B equal to 6 plus 5 minus 7 by 11. 6 plus 5 11 minus 7 4 by 11. So this is the first answer. First answer we got. Then he says find PA by B. PA by B. Just write formula and substitute values. PA intersection B divided by PB. Just now we have found out PA intersection B. How much is it? 4 by 11 divided by PB 5 by 11. Answer 4 by 5. This is another answer. Come to the last one, PB by A. Same again formula, P A intersection B, instead of PB now it is PA. Substitute 4 by 11 divided by PA 6 by 11. It will become 4 by 6 or 2 by 3. This is the third answer. So we find that the problems are very simple based upon just one formula. Yes. Now some word problems. What happens in word problems? We have to understand them and then we have to put into standard form so that formula can be used. Okay. Let us this interesting problem. 2 coins are tossed once. How many coins? 2 coins. So what is the sample space? Sample space is HH, HT, TH and TT. Both can be heads. First one is head, second one is tail. First one is tail, second one is head. Both are tails. So this is the sample space if 2 coins are tossed simultaneously. Now come to the problem. What is event E? Tail appears on one coin. Pick up from the sample space in which tail appears in one coin, any one coin. So it can be HT, it can be TH. Tail appears in one coin. Next thing, one coin shows head. One coin shows head. From this you pick up in which one coin is showing head. HT, TH. We are doing the first part. If you know E, if you know F, find out E intersection F. You can find that both the elements are there, HT and TH. Now in each case find out the probabilities. Tell me what is the probability of E. it is 2 by 4 or 1 by 2. Similarly, for the second one, what is PF? Again it is 2 by 4 or 1 by 2. What is the probability of P E intersection F? Is also 2 by 4 or 1 by 2. What is that we need to find? He has not mentioned, but actually he is asking us what is P E by F. So tell me what will be P E by F. Apply the formula P of E intersection F divided by PF. Substitute. What is E intersection F? 1 by 2. What is PF? 1 by 2. Answer is 1. We have to be very careful in reading the problem because every word makes a very significant difference here. For example, here he said tail appears on one coin. So how we have taken it? Those events in which tail comes one time. Somebody else can, if he says tail appears at least in one coin, then the sample space will have these two and this one also. Why? Because at least in one means it can be one and more, and that will make all the difference. Okay? In the same way, the second problem, second part. No tail appears. So what is E in this case? No tail appears. So it is only HH. No head appears. What is F here? It's only TT. And what is E intersection F? It is a null set. Then what is PE by F? Apply the formula PE intersection F divided by PF, which is 0 by, what is the probability of E? Probability of E is 1 by 4. Probability of F is also 1 by 4. Probability of E intersection E is 0 because 0 by 4 is 0. So 0 upon 1 by 4 equal to 0. So in this manner, without much difficulty, you can solve the problems of this particular exercise. This is an interesting question. It's a word problem. You have to little bit imagine. What he says, mother, father and son line up at random for a family picture. Now let us say mother, father and son. Recollect your childhood days. Your parents would have taken you to a studio to have a group photo. So who are all there? You are there, father is there, mother is there. Okay. He says E is an event, sun on one end when they are standing. In what all ways they can stand? What all ways they can stand makes the sample space. Can you write sample space? Sample space is, let us say, father, mother, son. Then father, son, mother, mother, father, son, mother, son, father, son, father, mother, son, mother, father. Is there any other way how you can write it? Is there any other way how they can stand? These are the ways how they can stand. However you make them stand, it will be one of them. So this constitutes the sample space. How many elements are there? 6 elements are there. Now come to E and F, which are from sample space. What does he say? E, sun on one end. Pick up those in which sun is in one end, either in the beginning or in the end. So this one, FMS. This cannot be taken. This, yes, this can be taken MFS. This cannot be taken. These two can be taken, SFM and SMF. This is the first event. Now come to the second event. From the same sample space you have to pick up father in the middle. Those arrangements in which father is in the middle. So F is equal to, father is in the middle, here mother is in the middle, here son is in the middle. This one can be taken MFS. This cannot be taken, this can be taken SFM. That's all. Once again you check where father is in the middle, 1, 2, these are the two. Now write the intersection of both, common to both. What is common to base MFS? Is there MFS? Yes. You can see this and this are common. MFS. SFM, is it there? Yes. This is there. So SFM. Okay. He is asking what is PE by F. He is asking what is PE by F. Formula P of E intersection F divided by PF. Now, we have defined the events, but we have not written the probabilities. So, write probabilities now, hence P of E. What is P of E? How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 6, 4 by 6. In other words, 2 by 3. Second one, PF. How many are there? 2. 2 by 6, 1 by 3. E intersection F equal to 2 by 6, 1 by 3. Substitute those values here. PE intersection F 1 by 3, PF 1 by 3 equal to 1. I think it is clear. Very simple problem, very practical problem. Another interesting problem. A fair die is rolled. If you roll a die, what are the outcomes? That becomes the sample space. So, tell me what is sample space? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When you roll one die, these are the possibilities, and that possibilities only make sample space. A fair die is rolled. Consider the event. He has given E. What is E? 1, 3, 5. Remember E, F all will be subsets of S. 1, 3, 5, 2, 3. Okay, and then he is asking us to answer. Achha, one more is there, G. 2, 3, 4, 5. We know that when we are answering all those things, we will be coming across intersections. So, before you start solving the problem, find out the intersections. Let us say, for example, E intersection F. What is common between E and F? Only 3. What is common between F and G? What is common between F and G? 2, 3. What is common between E and G? E and G, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 5. So, now what you do is immediately write their probabilities. For example, What is probability of E? What is PE? It has got 3 elements out of 6. So 3 by 6 equal to 1 by 2. Next, P of F. How much is P of F? 2 out of 6. That is 1 by 3. Next, P of G. What is P of G? 4 out of 6 is 2 by 3. Next, E intersection F. P of E intersection F. How much is it? 1 by 6. Next is PF intersection G. How many elements are there? 2. So 2 by 6, which is nothing but 1 by 3. And finally, P of E intersection G. 2 by 6 again, 1 by 3. Now we have all the necessary information. With the help of this, everything you can find out. So take one after the other what he is asking and find. First thing he has asked, find PE by F and PF by E. So let us begin with that. First one is PE by F. So how will you find PE by F? Formula. What is the formula? PE intersection F divided by PF. Substitute the values. E intersection F 1 by 6 and PF 1 by 3. So 1 by 6 by 1 by 3. It is 1 by 2 because it will become 3 by 6. Then he said find PF by E. PF by E. Formula PF intersection E divided by PE. Intersection is same only 1 by 6, only PE will change. What is PE? 1 by 2. It will become 2 by 6, answer is 1 by 3. So this is one answer, this is one answer. So we have solved the first part. Come to the second part. He says find PE by G. What will be the formula? PE intersection G divided by PG. What is PE intersection G? PE intersection G, the last one, 1 by 3 by PG, 2 by 3. Answer is 1 by 2. Then he says find G by E. Again, PE intersection G divided by PE. This is same 1 by 3, but what is PE? 1 by 2. So it will become 2 by 3. So first and second we have solved. Now we have to solve the third one, which appears to be different, new. We have not solved based upon the second property. See, in the previous problem, if you remember, when he has asked us to find out P of A union B or E union F, what did we do? PE plus PF minus PE intersection F. Now when G comes as a conditional probability, simply put G under each of them. That's all. So these values are important in order to solve that, but let us try doing it. How do you solve this? These values are required. So what we will do is we will just remove what is not required. And then solve this. This one only we are taking. So how do you write P of, how do you write P of E union F by G? Forget about G for some time and think how do you write P E union F? How will you write? We know that it is P E plus P F minus P E intersection F. Now since below it G is there, put G. That's all. There is no big difference. Substitute the values P E by G. We have found out P E by G, how much it is? 1 by 2. 1 by 2 plus F by G. F by G. Did we find F by G? If we are not found, we have to find F by G. No. So please find out P F by G. How do you find P F by G? It is P F intersection G by P G. How much is F intersection G? 1 by 3. How much is P G? 2 by 3. So answer is 1 by 2. So that value we will substitute here for F by G. How much is it? 1 by 2 minus P E intersection F by G. How do you write this? In order to understand this, go back to this formula. How do you write P E by F? P E by F is P of E intersection F divided by P F. So use this formula to simplify this. So we will write it as P of E intersection F intersection G divided by Pg. Intersection means common to all of them. So what was common to all of them? This is 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 is 1 minus. What is common to all of them? Anyway, E, F, G are given. Just see what is common. 1 is not common. 2 is also not common. 3 is common. So, one element. Yes, 3 is the only element. So, only one element is common out of 6. So, it is 1 by 6 divided by Pg. How much is Pg? 2 by 3. So, what do you get? 1 minus 1 by 6 into 3 by 2. 3 ones are 3 twos are 1 minus 1 by 4. Answer is 3 by 4. This is how we solve this particular problem. I hope it is clear. Now, in the same manner, we have to solve the other one. Remember, here it is union, there it is intersection. So, what is the difference? What is the difference you are going to find? The difference is going to be, we will be using the same formula, but we are going to find out this. Okay? He says, but remember with respect to G, we have to find out. Okay? So, let us write that. Once again, we will rub this part. Yes. What is that we want? P, fourth one it is, correct? Yeah, third one. We want to find the second part of third. P E intersection F by G. P E intersection F by G. You can also find this way. How? You can find this way, that is P E intersection F intersection G by Pg. How much is P E intersection F intersection G? Just now we have found 1 by 6. And how much is Pg? 2 by 3. So, it will become 1 by 6 into 3 by 2. Answer is 1 by 4. We are using this formula. P E by F means P E intersection F by P F. Similarly, PE intersection F by G means PE intersection F intersection G by PG. Okay. So this is how these problems can be solved. These two problems you have to make little effort, but things are very simple. You only have to understand this concept. PE by F means E intersection F by PF. Yes, here is a very interesting problem. An instructor has a question bank. You understand question bank? Which has got lots of questions. Maybe true and false, maybe multiple choice, maybe one word, maybe descriptive type, all types of questions put together we call them question bank, but generally they have objective questions. Okay. So he says an instructor has a question bank consisting of 300 easy true and false questions. So one type of questions are true and false. Here we can say easy and here we can write difficult. How many easy questions he has got? 300. We are making a small table with the help of given information. He has got 300 easy true and false questions, 200 difficult true and false questions. How many difficult? 200. Okay. 500 easy multiple choice questions. Multiple choice questions. How many? 500 easy. And then 400 difficult multiple choice questions. Here we can say total. Here also we can write total. Total of easy questions is 800. Total of difficult questions is 600. Total of true and false questions is 500. Total of multiple choice questions is 900. 900 plus 500 is 1400, which is also equal to 1400. So this is the information which he has given. Now he is asking us to answer. So read the question once again. After writing down, if a question is selected at random from the question bank, out of 1400 questions, you simply picked up one question. Remember, it is not out of 200 or 300. Out of 1400 questions, you picked up one question. And what he says, if a question is selected at random from the question bank, what is the probability that it will be an easy question? There are two types of questions, easy questions and difficult questions. Okay. What is the probability, for example, for easy question? Okay, we will write that. First let us complete the question. He says, what is the probability that it will be an easy question given that it is a multiple choice question? So we are defining E as an event. E is defined as what is the probability that it will be an easy question? This is one event, and what is given? What is given? That is F. What is it? It is given that it is a multiple choice question. What is that he is asking us to find out? He is asking us to find out PE by F. What is the formula? The formula is very simple. P E intersection F divided by PF. Now the question is, do you have this information? Do you have this information? What is that we require? PE intersection F. What do you mean by first E intersection F? E means what? Easy question. F means what? Multiple choice questions. Look forward for easy and multiple choice questions. Easy in this column, multiple choice questions is 500. Easy and multiple choice questions are 500 out of 1400. So it is 500 by 1400 divided by PF. What is PF? Multiple choice questions. How many multiple choice questions are there? 900 are there. 900 out of 1400. So what is that you are going to get? You will get the answer 5 by 9. This is the answer. Simple. Only it took time to understand the question, but the solution is very, very simple. Read once again. What is the probability that it will be an easy question? He is asking what is the probability that it is an easy question. We took it as first event E, easy question. Given that it is a multiple choice question, whatever he has given we took it as F, multiple choice question. So we want to find out E by F. How do you find out? P E intersection F. E intersection F means what? It is easy and multiple choice. Easy and multiple choice. It is 500. 500 out of 1400. Then PF. What is PF? Multiple choice questions. Multiple choice questions are 900. 900 out of 1400. So the answer is 5 by 9. We have come to the last part of this particular class. We will just do one problem and close. Yes. Consider the experiment of throwing a die. Once again, if you throw a die, what will be the sample space? If you throw a die, what is the sample space? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the sample space. And what does he say? If a multiple of 3 comes up, which are the multiples of 3? One is 3, another is 6. If the multiple of 3 comes, what he says? Throw a die again. If you throw a die, you are going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you are going to get, what is that you are going to get? With 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 3, 5, 3, 6. And if you get 6 also, you have to do the same thing. So 6, 1, 6, 2, 6, 3, 6, 4, 6, 5. He says if you get 3 or 6, roll the die again. So if you roll the die again, you are going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what will be the sample space? All this. But if you don't get multiple of 3, what he says? If any other number comes, any other number means other than 3 and 6, 1, 2, 4, 5. If they come, what you have to do? Toss a coin. For example, if you get 1, you will toss a coin. So what will be the outcomes? 1 H, 1 T, 1 head, 1 remains as it is. Either you will get head or tail. Similarly, with 2, 2H, 2T. 3 we have already done. With 4, 4H, 4T. And finally with 5, 5H and 5T. These are the outcomes. If you get 3 or 6, he says roll the die again. So these are the outcomes. If you get 1, 2, 4, 5, these are the outcomes. Now read the question again. Consider the experiment of throwing a die. If a multiple of 3 comes up, throw the die again. And if any other number comes, toss a coin. Find the conditional probability. Remember, this is the sample space now. This is the sample space when you just roll a die, means for the first part, but the actual S is this. S is equal to this. This whole thing constitutes S. Now define the events. What are the events? He says find the conditional probability of the event. What is that? The coin shows a tail. Define E. What is E? The coin shows tail. Pick up those in which T is there. So here you have 1T, 2T, we have 4T and then 5T. This is forming E. Find the conditional probability of the event. The coin shows a tail. Given that, what is given? That is F. So what is F? He says, given that at least one die shows 3. At least one means it can be 1 and more. So what will be F? It will be all this, that is 3 1, 3 2, 3 3, 3 4, 3 5, 3 6, at least one he said. So 6 3 also can be taken. Find out intersection. What is E intersection F? It is an empty set, nothing is common. So what is that he is asking? He is asking conditional probability, that is P E by F equal to P E intersection F by PF. We do not need to calculate anything. Why? Because numerator is 0. If numerator is 0, whatever be PF, it is 0. Both are disjoint sets. Whenever sets are disjoint, their intersection is a null set. So there is nothing common in both E and F, so it was a null set. So probability of P intersection F will be 0. Whatever be the denominator, answer is 0. So with this, we come to a close of this particular topic called conditional probability. This is the first topic in probability called conditional probability. With this, we come to a close. Thank you. Look forward for the next topic in the next session. Sai Ram.